our wrestling fans. Welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am your host, Joe the Panther the Third. And now introducing my co-host to this fun trip around the world and the soul step into the woods. We go. The happy heel himself, Metal Geek.
What's going on, Ringside Crew? What's going on, internationally known? What's going on, everyone? What's going on, Joe?
Not too much, man. I don't know. I'm having this really weird feeling today. Like it's like 6 of separation. Because I don't know. Because with my grandpa on today and this guest today, let's give a warm Dudes at Ringside welcome to Jenni Santana.
What's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thanks for coming on.
Welcome. I as I said before the show, it's an honor and a pleasure because, with the family and wrestling, it's kind of like we have that full circle. Like now it's like me and you have that circle, like wrestling, and you're not only wrestling, you do like MMA and like stuff like that. So if our fans aren't familiar with you, and why would they not? Introduce
I thought you
yourself.
were going to say, why would they? Because that's probably more accurate.
I know, but why they wouldn't? I know they know of your name, but introduce yourself to them.
So my name is Jennifer Haas, a.k.a. Jenni Santana. I am the daughter of Tito Santana, who is in the WWE Hall of Fame. My story is a little bit, I started out doing jiu-jitsu, so I was able to win like a world championship. I'm currently a national champion, and now I've decided to give pro wrestling a try. So I've been training for probably like a month or so, and it's going really well. And I am documenting my journey of pro wrestling and kind of getting it out there kind of behind the scenes, because you watch it on TV and I'm nowhere near that caliber, but just the training, just to give a background on the training and like the bumps and bruises and all that stuff that everyone who does pro wrestling does and like gets in the beginning. Like everyone's training and everyone's taking stuff and doing stuff to their body that they're not used to. And I don't know, it's just, it's interesting for people to hear, I think. So
who trained you?
So Kyle Hawk trains me, and he's actually a wrestler. He has the belt right now. So he does a great job training me. I started from nowhere. I came in and I don't know, like he was asked to train me. And I think now that we've become friends, like he told me, he's like, the first time he was asked, he was like, no, I'm not interested in this. And so then he kind of got like worn down to meet me and train me. And it's going pretty well. Like he thinks I'm a super hard worker. He's really good with teaching me and getting me comfortable with things that I haven't ever done before. Like he's super creative. Whereas like we did bumps and he wanted me to try like a front somersault. And so instead of trying that to begin with in the ring and me having, a slight heart panic attack, we went to a trampoline park and did it there and kind of eased me into it. So he's like really good and really patient with me, because it takes a lot of patience to deal with me sometimes and get me on the right track. But he's doing a really great job. I'm super thankful for getting set up with him and for the progress we've made so far. It's really good.
It's always good to have a good trainer in the beginning, because like sometimes you get a trainer that's like, okay, we'll show you this and that, and then when you finally get into a match, they didn't show you the right part, and then you get in the ring, they're like, that really wasn't the way you're supposed to move it. It's this way. But like, oh, my trainer told me that. I guess he didn't teach you the end half. You know what I mean?
Yeah. he's really good at like starting at the foundation, but also throwing us in and like practicing how a match would be, like where's the crowd going to be, or selling stuff and things like that, and just all the small stuff that I don't think about because I'm busy just trying to jump high enough not to get someone's head knocked off. But he's really good at that. And then other stuff, like yesterday we had a training session and we worked on like promos. And so, I mean, he's currently in the business. He's doing this stuff. I watch his matches that he sends me. He's actually he has a match, I think it's next Friday in Las Vegas that I'm going to go to. And so it's super cool to get trained by someone that you're actually seeing do it successfully and has all the knowledge and the insight to what happens, when stuff goes wrong. And he gets to tell me like, maybe this wasn't planned, but you got to keep going. And it's easier to listen to someone who has lived through it, I think, and who is currently active in the system.
Interesting. So, like, Geek, I don't know, Geek, I think I already asked my question. So
I know I asked you who trained you, but I know your dad's Tito Santana. But how did you get started in the business?
In pro wrestling and trying it out. So I actually contacted Hannibal on the Hannibal TV, and my family is trying to get my mom to write a book because you guys, she'd be right up your alley because she grew up.
Please, we need her. We got you. Tell your mama.
She grew up around that. Like my great grandmother took her to wrestling for the first time, and that was where, like, my great grandmother, she was a huge fan of Haystacks Calhoun. So my mom ended up getting an autograph from him. And
my best friend.
It was.
It was my grandfather's best friend.
So wait, she just sent me this picture. I'm gonna stick it on here just because this was hopefully you guys can see it. So this is my great grandmother.
Oh, that's what's his name? Oh my God, that's
Bobby Heenan, maybe she said.
No, that's not Bobby. Oh my God, that's call everybody pencil neck geek. I can't think of his name. His phrase was "you pencil neck geeks." That's what his phrase was back in the day. Oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Freddie Blassie. Freddie Blassie.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know who that is. So hopefully you do. But that was her, and they were just around all the time. I think this is Haystacks Calhoun. If I'm not,
Haystacks. You should. If they're watching the podcast, that was my grandfather's best friend. He used to travel around in the back of my grandfather's car to go to wrestling events because he was so big he couldn't actually drive in the car with my uncle, my grandfather. So he would travel in the back of the flatbed.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Haystacks Calhoun was so big. He was like that. I guess he would kind of say he was like the Andre of that time because he was so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he connected with my mom, and he had a daughter around her age. And so he kind of took her under his wing, and she wasn't a wrestler, but they did ask her at one time to be a manager, and she would have actually been the first female manager, but she doesn't like the spotlight. So she refused, but she was always hanging around all the guys, like tons of stories, all the backstage stuff. And so, we're like, write a book, like people will want to see this. My grandmother, so we originally from Pennsylvania, and when we moved out here, like my grandmother had like the old Super 8 videos and just old matches. Like they had so much good footage, like wrestlers that started out in the business and stuff that was, if I remember correctly, they used to do matches where like some of them were televised when they did them at the Hamburg Field House and stuff, and some of them weren't. And so they had like all of them on video. And, she like dumped them all and got rid of them, moving out here, trying to like minimalize what she was bringing out. And now we're like, oh my gosh, like why would you do that? And so but they're gone now. But we do have like albums and albums of pictures of the guys and like my mom, my grandmother, my uncle in the rings. So it's super cool. Like we grew up around wrestling, you could say. I didn't really grow up around wrestling, but like she grew up around wrestling. My uncle did. And then I grew up kind of watching wrestling because it was so ingrained in what they did and who they were. And so we had like wrestling matches in the backyard and things like that all the time, like always fighting and pretending to wrestle. So
that's so cool to like know like you like got a chance to like be like get a chance to try it out before you were old enough back in your backyard, and your family was entwined with it. Like it's almost like my dad's stories that he always tells me, how he in his house he had a lot of wrestlers coming in and out all the time, like Haystacks and Classy Freddie Blassie and Killer Kowalski coming to their house, and my dad's aunt would come in and fix the gear. That's what she would do. She would get wrestlers to send a picture of what they want, and they would make it. She would make it for them, like shirts, jackets, and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. Like you have stories like that's cool. I get so like cool seeing stuff that you never hear anywhere else. You're gonna hear dudes at ringside.
Yeah, like everyone in my family was a participant in wrestling, if they wanted to or not. The things that stick out in my mind the most, when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, my grandfather, in his bedroom is where we would always kind of wrestle, and he had this dresser that was really high, and so we'd always like jump from the dresser onto someone on the bed and just kind of do moves and flying moves and stuff like that. But and then they would do it to him, like he'd be sleeping and they'd come in and wake him up, like, you know, jumping on top of him, flying off the dresser, and there was no mercy for anyone. I remember one time he was in a car accident and broke his ribs, actually. And my uncle, you know, just came and hammering away for real. And, you know, his ribs were already broken. And so it was just like, oh, no mercy. Like we were always just always in the wrestling mode when I was younger, I remember. And then as I gotten to be like a teenager, then my brother came up and he was kind of more into it than I was anymore, because I was, you know, doing other things. I'm a girl teenager with my, you know, head up my butt sometimes. But we actually they created like their own little wrestling federation with like this cardboard belt and stuff that they made. And so we used to tape those matches. I'm going to have to find those because I know my mom still has all of those and I'm in some of them. But you know, then they started getting like the props into it where they would like break cups over each other's head and use the pans. And even my grandmother one day was in a match. She like came out of nowhere in a mask and like panned someone on top of the head. So it was the culture we lived in, and it was just how we grew up.
Grandma out of nowhere.
The foreign objects, Joe. Bam.
Grandma with the foreign objects. That's crazy. That's awesome. Wow. And
then there wasn't there a guy that had like a mannequin head?
Oh, actually,
no.
Yes. And so like my brother was, you know, kind of obsessed with that for a while. So we found him a mannequin head, and he was always like with the mannequin head during the matches sometimes. So
that's crazy. He's coming on our podcast actually later in the month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. It's another.
He was the one that did Sacco too, right?
No, that was Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Long Island, so
he did.
He moved to Florida. So
see, you just butchered it, geek. There you go. Penalty on the geek.
He did live in Long Island.
Isn't there like a penalty in MMA? Like you get a flag, or I don't know.
You get the penalty in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you'll get a penalty. He got a penalty. Minus points. See, he's the heel. He's gonna see. Remember, I'm the good guy. I can't do anything wrong.
Sure, Joe. Sure, you're the what you call it? The secret heel. He's the secret heel for now.
Oh,
I'm like Guerrero.
He's gonna be the one that turns on me, throws me through the barbershop window.
That's like the funnest one, right? Because you get everyone on your side, and then you're like, but wait.
Oh wait, it was actually Joe was the heel the whole time.
I do the Eddie Guerrero to him. I tap the chair on the ground, and I throw the chair in his arms, and I fall on the floor. Knock myself out, and the referee's like, ding ding ding. He's like, that's us every time in college. I'm like, ow, he hit me.
Or you could say you're the Shawn Michaels. Or I could never mind. I'm gonna give him.
Let's not talk about Shawn Michaels here. He beat her that WrestleMania. I was so mad. I can say I'm 38. I watched that WrestleMania when your dad faced Shawn Michaels. I was so mad. I like Shawn Michaels now, but that moment, I lost my mind. I was so upset. I was like, Tito's gonna beat him. Tito's gonna. I think I was like 9. I think I was 9 years old.
No, I was talking about the DX moment when Triple H turned Shawn Michaels.
About her dad right now, geeking. How could you do that? I'm having happy flashbacks to when I was a little kid. Wayne's World style. I was
trying to watch a lot of matches now. Like I'm trying to watch, some of his matches and old school matches.
Yeah. So ones you really gotta go back to. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like the matches, I'm as I said, I'm Mr. Old School on the podcast. The matches I suggest you watch of Tito Santana's is like, his matches that he fought like IC title matches way back in the day. His Strike Force days and stuff like that. Like he had so many good matches. It's hard to say what matches to go with. But if you like watching tag team matches, he has a lot of good tag team matches. The match he took on Shawn at WrestleMania, even though he lost that one. He has quite a few good matches he's done in his career. So
yeah. I'm trying to I've been watching his finishing move a lot, the flying elbow and.
Oh, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. Are you going to, I know your MMA stuff also, you do are you going to try to tie in a lot of your dad's move set into your move set?
So I think just because of my background, I'm probably more of a submission fighter as opposed to a high flyer. So I'm not really sure because I know that elbow, he's flying. I watched one today. He flew in the ring and elbowed some guy. And so I would love to learn them and try them eventually. But, I think I'll probably always fall back on what I'm most comfortable with, which is probably more of the submission stuff. But I guess we'll see.
I could see now your logo it says Jenni Santana, but the lightning bolt striking the back of the name Santana, because that's when he did Strike Force. He had a lightning bolt on his boot.
Oh, cool!
That's what I remember. And then when he was El Matador, had the little hat on the boot.
I did see the El Matador uniform. It was green and pink with gold with pink boots. Yeah,
the jacket with the little pointy shoulders. I remember that. That's one of my favorite memories of Tito Santana.
That's a cool color scheme. So
and the little thing. The Mount Matador thing.
He had that? He had one of those?
Yeah, he had the Matador. I think it was the jacket or he had the thing in his hand. He used to always have he did. You think he had the thing in his hand.
To get one of those and practice with it. I could choke someone with it.
Oh yeah, that could be your weapon. If you're heel, that could be your weapon.
Yeah.
You watched. I'm like, oh God. She looks at the camera. Panther, I'm not a good guy. I'm a heel. Oh God, she's a heel. Tricked me. She tricked me with her smile.
She's got a cute face, but she's really.
She's mean. So yeah, there we go. So you could talk. You want to talk about your MMA training when you're you just started doing that stuff, how you won a championship. Talk about that, please.
Yeah, so I've been doing jiu-jitsu. It's probably not MMA because I don't really do the stand-up part of it. I've trained stand-up a few times. I did karate when I was younger, and we had boxing and kickboxing. So my kicks aren't bad, my punches probably have a lot to be desired, but not MMA, just jiu-jitsu. I'm just on the mat. So that's like when I go to the ground, that would be where I am comfortable. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 7 years now. I'm a brown belt, and if you guys know anything about jiu-jitsu, like that's the belt right before black belt. So eventually, hopefully, that will be the next step for me. But when I was a purple belt, I won Nogi Worlds, and so that was super exciting. And then I actually ended up ranked first in my division for the year, which was super cool. And then now I am a brown belt. So I had my first brown belt competition and I won nationals at it in gi, and then no gi I was second. So, but I did really well. I think, there's a lot that I need to correct and things like that, but it was good to feel like, yeah, this is a level that you should be at because, you're winning and not getting completely smashed. So, it was nice, but I train that like 5-6 times a week. So it keeps me super busy, and then trying to fit in lifting because you got to get to the gym and pick those weights up and down to get stronger. But and then now I started training wrestling. We've moved to 3 times a week. So it's a busy schedule. Like I work for the school district out here. And so we've gone back to school. So we're in session.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in person. So, just having to be somewhere, like it's so different than summer because now I have to be somewhere at 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. And it's great hours. I can't complain about that. But just having to be somewhere where, there's not a stove that I can cook. So like that all has to be done prior and planned out. And then just it's not the closest to my house, so just the drive then to get to the gym after, it's exhausting sometimes. Like this is the first week I did it, and I think I came up with a good schedule to fit it all in, but your body's definitely beat up at the end of a week after all those sessions. So
definitely. Like I do Special Olympics, and we were all remotely, and they had us doing like certain workouts. I was doing jumping jacks, planks, push-ups, squats. Like, I'm like, this is not working. My body's not. I pulled my shirt up and I was like, I was like, yeah, homie. I looked at a picture of myself. I was like, I was like, do I send this to someone and freak them out? Look like Rambo. I was like, yeah, I'm back. I'm back, son. My guys at work was talking about how he does this, that, and workout. And it was like after the last workout I did with Special Olympics. And I said, but how about this? And I pulled my shirt up. And one of my guy friends here at work, he was like, dude, I didn't expect that.
You got the 6-pack going on?
I had before the show, before I got my grandpa shirt on, I was like, picked my shirt up. And I was like, walk away, no shirt on. I was like flexing in the camera. And all I could think is, that's gonna end bad. Then he's gonna pop and going, what the heck is that?
I'm trying to work on, the flat stomach and then the 4-pack, I guess, and then 6-pack.
I guess it's the stuff that they had me doing, like the planks. I can hold my plank for like a minute and something, and then I start to shake, and then I go down.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because I actually started trying to get stronger shoulders. So in addition to like lifting weights, I'm trying to do because I usually do like 4 sets of stuff for weight training. So I'm trying to do like 4 sets of a minute hold of a handstand. So it's like, I think it's building my shoulders because they seem a little bit stronger. So every day will get better. But you need so much strength like to do the moves and like pick people up and
yeah.
It's not like lifting up a weight that's there. Like, a person is
different sizes and
like there's weight to the head and not as much weight to the legs or reverse. And then just like getting it on top of my shoulder, I'm like, I need to build those suckers up, but trying.
Just, like next to me, go to your training, just try to do a plank and ask whoever you're with if they have a timer or a cell phone. Go to the timer setting on the iPhone and say, okay, set the timer and I'll go on my. You have to do the plank like you're doing, like on your tippy toes and like with your arms out, and then do it for a minute. Try to do it for a minute, as long as you can do the plank for, and see how long you could do your plank for.
Kyle, I haven't done a plank in a while. Like I'm usually good with planks. I could probably get like a minute, maybe two. If I really try, I'd be struggling. But he said to do like a push up and come like halfway down to build up my chest. And so I could get like 30 seconds, like 4 sets of 30 seconds, and I'm like shaking. And so I'm like, oh, I need to build that up. But it's on my toes. So that is, I don't know. It's better than being on my knees, but
yeah, being on your
so
knees is
hard.
I know a lot of people they get on their knees with the plank and they start. I'm like, I got mad because this girl I know does the plank on her knees, and I'm like, that's not how you do a plank. You do it on your like ninja style, as I call it. You're like almost doing a push up because your feet are like this, and
Yeah.
My friend, we both ranted about it when they did the medal thing. I'm like, cheaters. She had a gold for the plank. I got like fourth. Cheaters. We were ranting about it. And I was like, two mean girls in the back of the bathroom smoking cigarettes. Cheaters, right? Cheaters. See, female friends, I gang up on other girls. No, Joe's not a heel. I'm a good guy.
Yeah,
you're a heel for now. I'm your face for now. He's a face for now. Just wait till the barbershop window happens. It's coming.
Geek will be standing there. Joe, what did you want to talk to me about? Well, crash. Jenna to be standing there like, I just came in here to say something and I don't remember. Why is there glass everywhere? Where's Geek? Oh my God. Joe, did you throw him through the window? No. Yes.
You gotta get that on tape if you actually throw someone through a window, because
I'd be scared because I may accidentally mess up and do it wrong.
and he might be saying Geek has to go to the hospital now.
Yeah.
Right?
Martin, drive him to the hospital.
He's like, wait, I can't drive.
You're gonna have to do it like this was real.
He'll be pulling glass out of himself for a week.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Yeah. That's my life. I mess up doing something.
Here we go. Your favorite wrestling match growing up?
My gosh, I have like the worst memory when it comes to that stuff. But I know like one of my favorite wrestlers was the Ultimate Warrior. I just loved like all the colorful fringes. So like any match he was in, I was always like, it was always my favorite. And you know, I said that on another podcast, and they're like, he wasn't the best wrestler. And you know, as a kid, like, you're not really looking for the best wrestler. You're just looking for someone who like gives you energy and you can connect with and makes you happy. So like I don't know, I just loved. And then I did hate when he would get sweaty and the face paint would come off though. Like I wanted him to look perfect, like the perfectly painted, you know, face that he had on all the time. Like
see, like I never get that with video games when you're playing as like wrestlers like the Ultimate Warrior. Like I love drawing and I love creating stuff. Like, how did they not edit that in a video game that the makeup comes off? The matches, their makeup stays so nice and clean.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's ideal, right? That's that.
Your makeup's gonna fall off your face during a match. In a video game, it looks like perfect. Like people think that people just look like that when they wake up. No makeup stays on face when wrestle. Come on, reality check.
Oh, what's funny is the last wrestling session we had, I guess earlier this week, Kyle had done it Facebook Live. It's on my Facebook. And so like I came like right after work, so I, you know, didn't look super bad. And then by the end of the video, I probably look horrible, you know, like there's sweat dripping in your eyeballs and your hair's like, my hair gets super curly when it's wet, and so it's just like all curled up and gross. And so yeah, I don't know how people stay looking gorgeous after they, you know, had a good workout or something.
One of our friends in the chat, Mima Mania, wants to know if you have any stories from your of your dad from when you were a kid.
No, so the first Hannibal interview I did, like I kind of explained that I actually I don't really have any stories about him. I actually found out that he was my father a few years ago, and so then I kind of reached out and tried to get in contact with him. Like I don't know, like I have kids, and so I think it's important to go over like medical records and things like that. And so, it would be nice to get to know him. It's funny because you never know how someone is going to react. And so when I was thinking about, you get this information now, and you're like, because I had, suspicions that he was my father since I was a teenager. And my mom, she knew that he was my father. She just did not tell me, and she didn't really want to talk about it ever. And so, and she has her own reasons why she did that. But it was kind of always looming out there. And then life happens, and you kind of forget about that stuff. And so then you get older, and you're like, okay, now it's time. And it's funny how things work out. Like sometimes things kind of just fall into place at the time they're supposed to. So. Get the ancestry stuff, find out, yes, you are his biological daughter. And so then what do I do? Like, hello, I'm here. Like, hi, I'm your daughter. So you don't know, because like he has a family and children of his own. Like, how are you going to react to that? And so wanted to go about it, I guess, respectfully, because I know him. And my grandmother was like, you should, you should talk to him, and he's going to be super overwhelming and, loving about it, because who wouldn't want their family to grow? Who wouldn't love you, because my grandmother's one of my biggest fans. It wasn't exactly like that. And so recently I had a conversation with my chiropractor, and he said his wife was like in the same boat, who just like found out, I think it was his wife or a friend, but they just found out who their biological father was. And then the person reached out and said, I'm your daughter. And the guy like drove across the country that night to meet them, and has made every effort to get to know them and things like that. And I was like, oh, this is what my grandmother thought was going to happen. But it didn't actually go exactly like that. Like, I've talked to him once on the phone, but I don't know, it wasn't as receptive as their story. So I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. But
fingers crossed. We have our fingers.
Yeah, I mean the facts are out. Like, he knows. He's told his sons. Like, it's not like a question. Like, is she your daughter or not? Like, it's just yes. She's my daughter, and I fathered her. So so we'll see, I guess, where it goes from here. But
well, we're hoping that he becomes more. When you get more into the wrestling stuff, he starts to become more supportive on your journey in the ring and stuff like that. And we here at Dudes at Ringside hope you really like hit that ring, and we hope like someone, when you get further into your out of your training and start getting more into matches, if you ever come east, message us.
Yeah.
If it's in Pennsylvania, I will drag Geek to anywhere in PA to come see you wrestle. We will.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I still have some family there, so I will definitely do that. Hey.
That's someone.
That's someone. It's someone.
A wrestler.
Wrestler. Yep. Say, hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to the Ringside Crew.
Thanks for joining in and listening.
Oh, that's actually, he was wrestling. He's messaging me on my Instagram. That's DC Styles. I never heard of him. I know he's an indie wrestler. Where do you wrestle, DC Styles? Because you messaged me earlier. I'm like interrupting an interview. Hey,
good.
Don't you know who this is?
He's trying to put himself over, is what he's trying to do. That fan in the crowd when the match is going on.
This is Justice Santana here. So yeah. So we're gonna go a little fun, typical dudes at ringside style. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food. Okay, so I love all foods. Oh my gosh. When you were talking about the six pack earlier, like that's why I can't get it together because I just love food too much. So I think like growing up, my favorite food was probably salads. And we talked about this. So I love food so much. And so coming from Pennsylvania, like my mother, she was a stay-at-home mom and she would cook for us every day like dinner, but like the dinner had no flavor. And so like she did not use spices. She probably used salt, maybe a tiny bit of pepper, if ever. And so like my brother and I joke about this all the time. Like our palates have not encountered flavor or like different textures. And so when I would eat salads, like literally lettuce and salad dressing. And so it's like, as I got older, like I would add like cheese and maybe croutons, but I kind of limit, like I eat so plain. It's embarrassing sometimes. And so now like you go and you get all these like fancy restaurants, they have like the summer salad and feta cheese salad or this and that. And I'm like, oh no, it's too much. It's like a palate overload at one time. And so just like super plain, like I'll just take lettuce in my salad. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But what else I love, like I love pickles of all kinds. I will down the pickles and then I will drink the pickle juice too because it's so
I have no problem
but
drinking.
actually I learned it's like better for you than Gatorade to rehydrate
Really?
you. Yes. And so if you're ever super dehydrated, you should take a sip of pickle juice and like hold it under your tongue and like hold it in your mouth and then it absorbs faster. So, but it's
That's
really,
good to
really
know.
good for you.
Facts. We got facts here from
Right.
Jenny. From
Facts and stories right there.
Facts
Yeah.
and stories. Do you like pizza?
I love pizza. I love pizza. But so again, it's so plain. Like I only eat pizza with cheese. Like I cannot do meat on my pizza. Like I don't do pepperoni or sausage or ham. None of that. Like it's just cheese. I do mushrooms and onions because I love mushrooms and onions. And I think that mushrooms and onions should be on almost every food. Like when I was younger, my grandmother used to make me onion sandwiches. And so she would fry onions and just stick it on a piece of bread. And that was like one of my favorite things ever to eat. So now on my pizzas, it's just mushrooms and onions and cheese. It's super plain.
So much stuff was going on in the background.
It was getting so dark. And so I was like, please turn on lights. And as it was going, like, I was like, okay, no, that one was like a bad glare. So
yeah,
hopefully you can see me.
I can see you loud and clear. You're clear. You're loud and clear. I was like, I have ADD. I was looking at you, and then I'm like, so much is happening in the background. What's going on?
Yeah, my
I was like, I'm gonna start fading away, and you'll just see like my eyes and my teeth or something soon.
Like in a cartoon. Like you'll see like the
just the smile.
See the eyes and the smile.
Yeah.
Like, it's still there. I swear, man. It's not a dream.
My apartment has something called like a puzzle light. You know what that is or no? It's
No.
like you turn one light off, the other one turns on. So you're like, damn it, I gotta turn this one off to turn that one off. And then to turn this one off, I have to turn that one off.
Oh, my bedroom is like that because there's 2 ceiling fans. And so like I want the one light above my bed on and then I'll like press the light and both ceiling fans are going. So then like that light will turn on and the other one turns off. And then it's like, oh my gosh.
And then the mod always gets mad at me. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to turn the lights off. And then she's like, just turn the lights off. I'm like, I can't because I have to turn this light off to turn that light off to turn that light off.
Yeah,
So,
there's like so many switches. You're like, what switch is like?
What happened?
Yeah, like it takes you a while to like learn. Like I'm still like, because I moved, and so I'm like all these switches in the bedroom. I'm like, I don't know which one's which. Like every night, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. No one.
Yeah, put it on a notepad next to your bed. Be like 1, 2. This one does this one.
this one determined that. Yeah,
You have to like label them.
Here we go. If you ever come to New York, I do this with every one of our guests. If you ever come to New York, let us know. We'll meet up for pizza.
So I was in New York when I was younger as a kid, but recently I was in New York a few years ago, and it was super cool. We were in New York City over New Year's Day. And so we went to, my birthday is right before New Year's. And so we went to go see Wicked on Broadway, which was super good. Yeah, that was my daughter's, like, that was the one thing she wanted. This was, she was just like, I want to go to New York and see. And so then, all the great food in New York, because I don't know, people might not agree with me, but like I'm from the East Coast. And so, Pennsylvania, Jersey, like they do pizza right,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
so we come out to Vegas and we've tried so many pizza places, and there may be like 1 or 2 good ones, but it's not the same.
No.
Like it's just not the same. And so when we went to New York a few years ago, like we had pizza so many days because we're like, this pizza is so good. Like this is what we're used to. And then we found this place called Junior's Cheesecake.
Oh, Junior.
And so my daughter's obsessed with it. And she's like, we need to fly to New York just to go get Junior's. And I'm like, I am not flying a 5-hour flight for you to have cheesecake. Like, it's not happening.
If you ever come to Milford, Pennsylvania, they sell them. You could buy like the round Junior's cheesecake. They sell them the little tiny ones. You can buy like a teeny weeny ones like this big.
Yeah.
Then regular size cheesecake. That's key food in Milford.
Okay.
That's
Do they ship food? Because like some places, my aunt loves like pretzels, and I think they're like unique pretzels, but she gets them shipped to her.
Yeah.
I mean, a pretzel's different. I don't know if they can ship.
I think you could go on the website, the Junior's Cheesecake website, and see if they ship.
I'll have to try it. It'll be like, did you guys ever watch Friends with that episode with the cheesecake and they're like falls on the floor and they're still eating it?
I don't like Friends, to be honest with you.
I have no problem with it. Interview over.
They get this like cheesecake by accident and they taste it and they're like in love with it, and that is like probably my daughter with cheesecake. And then they get another one and it drops on the floor and they just eat it off the floor because it's so good. And so
she's gonna end the interview, geek. Don't do that. She's like, that's it. I'm out of here. Arriba. And she turns the camera off. What did you do, geek? See? Heel. See? He's the heel. He just ended the interview. You don't like Friends? That's it. Don't even put my interview up. I'm done. Another one, geek. Oh.
If nothing else, like it's funny watching shows from back like a while ago and seeing like what happens and goes on, and you're like, this would never go over now. You know what I mean?
There's so many shows like that.
Yeah, like some of the stuff they say and just imply, and you're like, oh my gosh, like how is this so popular? You know what I mean? How is it so popular now? Like now it's just like that would not happen.
I don't know if you're in the same age gap as me, but there was a TV show on Nickelodeon back in the day called You Can't Do That on Television.
I think I've heard of that show. I've heard
of that too.
And it's like they had this weird thing. It's like and it was like all these weird, their faces like this. And they would say like they're like, it was like a real haha joke kids show, and it was really not for kids, but it was like they had it on Nickelodeon for some reason. And it was filmed in Canada, but I thought it was filmed in Orlando. Long story short, their phrase was, I don't know. Like as a kid, I cringe every time in class. If I didn't know the answer, they'd be like, Joe, do you know the answer? I don't know. Why are you whispering, Joe? No, I would, because if the kids on the show, they would freak out. they didn't tell the kids when they could say the phrase. They would just drop a bucket of random color slime on their head. Whole like either green or blue or red slime, just like in a bucket. That's like a string would drop, and this could just get dropped. And that show it freaked me out. I would just be like, I would be scared to say I don't know.
Oh, when you said I don't know, they dropped the slime on you.
Yeah, immediately dropped the green, pink, blue. And what's your name was on that show? Oh my god, the one that made the song that had the album "Jagged Little Pill."
Last Morissette, the
Last Morissette was on used to be on when in the start of it, and they had some nasty stuff. There's a guy that was like a chef, and he'd be cooking and he'd burp and he would like they'd make fart jokes and he would pick his nose. It was a weird show. That was Nickelodeon's like start of the ooh, that wouldn't happen and also the name, you can't do that on television. That's a show. You can't.
It gives it away what your show's about, right?
Yeah, and the theme song was like dun, 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 and it was the whole cast going like this as the show would start, and it was just like really. I was like, whoa.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a bunch of the shows that you have to look up on YouTube. You can't do that on television. Roundhouse, there was like a singing show, and all they would do was sing. It was like a singing show, and the set was like they'd come on a little rolling set, and they would sing and they would talk. And the old episodes of all that from back in the day.
Those were good.
I don't remember any of that.
Roundhouse for me, that was bad too because the dad would burp and fart, but it was funny. Yeah, but it was funny. Roundhouse was funny. They would sing. It was like watching Rent, but like a teen version of Rent that they didn't curse. They just like sang and they joked.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I used to love watching Roundhouse because like I can't sing, but my sister would sing and she would always sing the theme song. Roundhouse. Do, 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 do.
I don't think I watched much TV as a kid. I don't know what these shows like. I don't know these shows. Need to Google them.
Do y'all deal with virtual wrestling too?
What is that?
What is virtual wrestling?
Was virtual wrestling like video games? I play video games.
Help us out, DC Styles.
DC Styles. Oh, here we go. Even though you're just starting, has anybody like tried to make you in a video game yet?
No, but I would love that. If anyone wants to make me in a video game or like a little Barbie doll, go ahead.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do that
Let me
tonight.
know.
I'm gonna do it tonight. I guess I'll give you Ronda Rousey's moveset. Because you said you're like that style. So I'll give you Ronda Rousey's style, and somebody made Tito in the game, so I guess I'll have to give you his finisher. And then
super cool, not about wrestling, but my jiu-jitsu coach is Fretson Pashao, and my son had the one UFC game. I think it's the second game or something, but he's on there, and so it's super cool. Like he's a character you can pick, so it's super cool.
I'll definitely.
One day I'm gonna be on a video game, and you can pick me. I'll be your.
Oh, we'll have to pick. But you said, would you be our Would you want to be our manager? Or would you want to be like our team? Oh, you can be on our team. You'll be our member of our team.
I guess we'll see how if I get to my first match, how it goes. If I'm a wrestler or manager, like the hook comes out, like stick to something else.
No.
Who would you be your dream match? To be honest.
Sorry, what?
Your dream match.
My dream match?
Yeah, your dream match.
Oh gosh, so I don't really follow like the indie circuits as much, so I don't really know which would probably be like where I would, most be fit for right now. But like, so I watch WWE sometimes. I guess like Charlotte Flair because she's like next generation. So that would be like ideal, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Vince, if you're listening, you gotta book this match.
Well, when we were talking about having you come on our podcast, I guess when we switched your day, we were saying like, Kiko's like, man, Jenni Santana, man, Vince McMahon's gonna just be like, oh gosh, another generation. Oh god, yes. He was like, so he's like, Vince is gonna bring her up because the second gen, the third generation. You know, that's what we were talking about.
The face Charlotte.
You're like, you could be the next Charlotte, just like you're daughter of. You know what I mean?
I think people like that second generation stuff only because, like, you know, they grew up watching, like, you know, I grew up watching Ric Flair, you know, everyone knows, you know, his moves, and you're always like, woo, you know, and so it just like became like a household name. And then it's, you know, it's a way to pass that tradition along. And so like those people who, you know, used to love or love to hate Ric Flair now, you know, now they have someone else to keep carrying that on. And so I think, I mean, it's kind of like an ideal situation, right? Where you have a wrestler that you loved and now you get to kind of keep it going, or at least like, you know, keep the name going. So
yeah, it's good to like know that you could we could probably see you in an NXT tryout whenever you start getting into your matches. Definitely. We have some places that we know you, if you want to come east to try to get in the ring. There's VPW, which is in Long Island. That's a really good promotion that has a lot of good wrestlers that are in it. There's the New York Wrestling Connection that's in Long Island that are really good too.
Creative Pro.
Creative Pro Wrestling is another one that Kurt Hawkins?
That's Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins.
That is school.
Promotion school. There's also We Are Wrestling, which did a show tonight, which we interviewed a female wrestler that actually wrestled. We interviewed the girl yesterday.
Her versus Becca would be good too.
Yeah. What's that?
I said Jenny versus Becca would be good too.
Oh, you have to look this girl up. Her name is Becca. Well, on some of her matches, it's called Basic Becca.
okay.
Oh. She hits a 450 splash that is just like, oh my gosh!
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, look her up.
She doesn't know what a 450 splash is.
Yeah, it sounds like a dive in swimming.
It's a dive. It's a dive, and then you flip this way.
Yeah, you flip like that.
Yeah, I can do like one flip so far.
Me too. I
like a 4 splash, maybe.
I don't even think I get half a quarter splash. I'm all upper body. I used to do swimming, so like I'm all upper body with the butterfly. So like I unload the trucks at work, so like I lift things up and put them down, literally. I don't need no weights. I just lift up heavy things with soda all day.
Like I used to do gymnastics when I was younger and flip, but I mean that was like as a kid. So we'll see if that translates or it's all lost. But slow. Yeah. We're doing baby steps so that I don't like freak out and cry while I'm at practice. Like
you gotta take it slowly so you don't like get hurt, and you don't want to hurt yourself because you know you've been used to you're doing like judo and stuff like that, and it's a different world going into the professional wrestling training. You hit the mats differently than you do with judo and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even like, you know, I was thinking about this, like in jiu-jitsu, like I could be in a match for 10 minutes and win and not get any damage at all. And then like, I'm like, if I'm in a pro wrestling match, like even if I win, like I'm still getting damaged. You know what I mean? Like yeah. I'm taking damage no matter what. Like there's no way to avoid it, you know, falling or having someone on top of, you know, like there's no way to get around that. You're always damaging your body, even if you're coming out on top with this. So
yeah, 100%. It's like so hard to not take damage in a wrestling match. You think you're going to come out like perfect and you end up like getting a neck bruise or like you hurt your elbow when you were doing a move off the top rope. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't know
like,
what's the fact.
A few weeks ago, like Kyle taught me like if you're against the ropes and like the smacks and stuff.
Hmm.
And so he's like, I'm going to smack you like how I would do it in a match. I'm like, okay.
Jeez.
Was not ready for that.
Ooh.
But it was definitely harder than I expected. You know, like I don't know what I was thinking like was going to happen, but definitely my perspective on the damage and athleticism that it takes in a wrestling ring definitely has changed since I got in one myself. And so I think that's kind of why I like the podcast because, or not the podcast, but like the blog videos because, you know, like I think sometimes people watching it from outside, they have a perception of it and they just don't realize like how tolling and taxing it is on you, even if you're the one doing more damage than the other one.
Yeah.
I got a quick question. What are your thoughts on intergender wrestling?
Intergender wrestling?
Yeah.
Like guy versus girl?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I guess I would relate it to like jujitsu. Like I think biologically we're built differently. And so like a guy my weight is always going to be considerably stronger than me. So I think they have an advantage that way. But, you know, we're all about equal rights and things like that. So I think if a girl's up for it, yeah, they just need to come in with the knowledge like this guy most like if for some girls they're way stronger than me, but like for me, if I'm going against a guy in similar height and weight, like I know he's going to be stronger than me in certain areas. So as long as I'm okay with that, you know, starting as an underdog, I guess it would be okay. But I think some girls can handle it and they're gonna, you know, succeed and come out on top. I think it just depends who the people are. So as that starts coming about, which it probably will, you know, I think they just need to be careful on the matchups and that's like with anything like jiu-jitsu, like in kids, they have the girls and boys go together to a certain age. And then like, I guess it's for lack of a better term, like I guess when puberty hits, like at the teenage, they split them up and they only do boys against boys and girls against girls, just because that's when kind of the, you know, strength difference, height difference, all that stuff kind of comes into play. But I mean, I'd be up for it. Like, especially like a tag team match. That would be good. Like intergender tag team match. I think that might be a little bit more successful because then you can always like tag out if you need to. But
I mean, you see it really big on the indies. That's the reason why I was asking that, because it's like you always like every indie match they usually feature one guy versus girl match.
Yeah.
And that's
Boston,
amazing.
oh my God. If you ever look at the wrestling promotion from Boston, what's that promotion that we get a lot of the female wrestlers from?
Limitless Chaotic, a lot of those promotions.
Limitless, you can look those promotions up when you're done with us. A lot of was it Limitless? Yeah, Limitless Wrestling,
Chaotic, and Beyond.
And Beyond. They have lots of good matches, but a lot of their matches is men versus women. There's not many women there, so they have a lot of men versus women, and they're good matches. They're like
really good matches.
But the heels will goof on the women. They're like, "Oh, you're not gonna do anything." One girl, her name is Little Mean Kathleen, and she is so funny. Oh, if you ever get a chance to meet, when you get a chance to go, you know, you find people on Instagram after the show, look up Little Mean Kathleen. She is the funniest person you will ever encounter in your entire life within wrestling.
I will look her up. I will look up some of those matches. I mean, I guess when I train jiu-jitsu, like I train with guys. There's more guys there than girls, so I'm always training with guys. When I compete, it's only against girls, but the training's with guys. And then Kyle also trains someone with me, Cameron, and he's a guy. So like we're like the matches that we're simulating, or not matches yet, but like the scenarios we're simulating, they're, you know, I'm a girl, he's a guy, so we're making it work so far.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll definitely have to get on that creation. I'll have to do it tomorrow because at our end it's 11:02 at night. So
Oh, it's so late. I forget how late
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's 11 over here. So
what time is it at you? I know we started at 7 and you're in Vegas time.
Yeah, it's only 8.
Okay. If we don't want to hold you up, Jenny, if you have to go eat your dinner or like go
Oh,
to
I've already eaten. Yeah,
Okay.
I do that as soon as I get home. I scarfed down all this pasta. It was so good.
Geek loves pasta.
So I'm good for like
pasta and
2
burgers.
hours.
Geek love pasta and burgers. I go for the pizza, the tacos, the rice and bean, the red rice and beans, the pernil. Yeah, it's my house. And for dinner, I had myself a nice Philly cheesesteak on a wrap with some French fries.
Do you guys? Okay, so in Pennsylvania, like cheesesteaks were my favorite, and they had sauce on them. And out here, there's no such thing as steak sauce on a cheesesteak.
Mm.
Did you guys do you have that there?
Where I live in, I'm the one that live in PA. Geek lives on Long Island, so
I haven't heard of it.
never heard of it. But I didn't. Where I got my thing was in upstate New York, in Port Jervis, New York. They probably did put it on there, but I don't know. But it was so good. The wrap was delicious, so it was good.
Like a red sauce. Like no one knows what I'm talking about. And so I come out here and they're like marinara sauce, and I mean that's like a crappy substitute. That's not what it is. But no one knows. Like, and I don't know how to describe it because I'm not a cook. Like I don't know how they make it, but it's like a specific steak sauce that goes on a cheesesteak. It's a red sauce. It's so good.
There's a chicken bacon ranch cheesesteak here in Long Island, actually, which is actually really good. I don't know if you have any of those, Joe, in Pennsylvania. Do you?
It sounds delicious. Well, the town I live in literally has one. I keep saying literally a lot. It's a literally episode for Joe. Literally, I sound like the guy from that show that was on NBC. I can't think of the name of it. Oh God, I can't think of the name of it. It's horrible. But yeah, it's a show I was watching about the whole pandemic with my mom and The Office. That's what she said. All right. Yeah, so where I live in Milford, PA, there is one light. That's it. It's
one light, like street light?
One stoplight. It's a nice little town. If you ever come to East and come traveling through Pennsylvania, come to Pike County and come check out Milford because it is an old historic town with one stoplight, and we have the flag that when they assassinated Lincoln in the museum in the town.
Oh my gosh. So how many kids were in your high school, like graduated?
I grew up on Long Island. I didn't grow up here. I've been here for 15 years. There must have been a lot. I don't even know. Like I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Long Island. So when I moved here, I was like, ugh. My last name is I have a Spanish last name, and my friend got me the shirt, a Yankee shirt with the name on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
And I get a lot of. One person is I looked at them and I rolled my eyes like the Undertaker. They're like, they're like, oh, you must have bought that shirt in a bootleg. I'm like, what do you mean? The name on the back of your shirt. I'm like, that's my name. Oh, no, you sure? Because they spelled Rodriguez wrong. I'm like, no, moron.
Wow.
That's my last name, which I'm not going to say it live on the air. It's spelled that way because it's not his name. That's my last name.
It doesn't even look like that because I saw it. So
yeah.
How do you? So weird.
I'm like,
but I grew up in a super small town too. Like I know my 8th grade class had 13 kids, and so then I come out to Vegas, and their 8th grade classes have like 300-400 kids, and so it's so different.
Yeah, it's like super cool. It's like in my town, like it's so small that everybody knows you, and like because I used to do a lot more Ghostbuster stuff. Oh, you do have a dog. Hey, pup.
Oh my
All right. All right. The mod's going to go crazy
Our
now.
mod loves animals. What kind of dog do you have?
German Shepherd. I'll try to get him up here. I got him. He was 4 weeks old, and I know like you're not supposed to get puppies at 4 weeks old, but like it was so amazing because we had to like bottle feed him yet for the next 4 weeks, and he's now like 115 pounds. So like he's our first puppy. So we wanted a huge puppy, but to start off with a huge puppy, it was kind of overwhelming. And so we started off and he like fit in my hand. I used to stick him in my purse to go to the grocery store. And it was so cute. And then as he grew, like we all grew together. And so now he's huge and he still thinks he's 4 pounds because he'll run and jump on top of you, and he has no concept of how enormous he is and how much he weighs. Like he has knocked me over sometimes, and he does this thing where he like crawls in between your legs and then he like sits there to get pet, and so he will just like plow through you, and no matter what you are doing, like he gets where he wants to go, and he just no concept.
Like you could be holding a full tray of sodas and then all of a sudden there goes your drinks.
Yeah. And he's so sweet. Like he's so sweet. He will let you do whatever. Like he will let you open his mouth, put your hands in, like he doesn't care. And so, but then like that's how he is with me and the kids. And then like when people come over who he hasn't been around his whole life, and they're like, that's your puppy? Like I know we took him for a walk before, and someone at the park was like, go put that hellhound away because he's so mean, and he does not like anyone he's not used to. And if anyone would like come near us, he would go crazy. And we had to stop like taking him out so much because he's not ready for it yet.
Oh jeez, that's not good.
No, like I got him for like to be a watchdog, and he's like the perfect watchdog, but like he just doesn't. His name is Blaze, and he's a German Shepherd, yeah, and it means like protector, I'm pretty sure. So he's perfect for what we got him for, and he's so sweet and loving to us, but like anyone else is probably that's their worst nightmare because he just doesn't. Like when the pool guy comes to clean the pool, like if he sees him outside, oh my gosh, he tries to like break down the glass door to get out there and attack him, and it's just like pure chaos. But
you said the word hellhound. We had a guy that came on our podcast from Scotland. And his gimmick was he hates everybody. He says, I hate everybody. I hate you. But he was such a cool guy. Like he's just how your background's just the wall with pictures. His background is stars.
He's like off the wall. He's off the wall.
He's off the wall.
Literally.
If we tell him we had Jenni Santana on his podcast, he's like, I want to get in touch with her. How can I talk to her? How can I get in touch with her?
Yeah. It'll be like, all right, you can Instagram.
Yeah, go on. He said he has Instagram, but he doesn't use the Instagram. He was telling us on the podcast last week we had him on, Keith?
Yeah. I think he uses Twitter more though.
More or less uses Twitter. So
and Facebook.
He's gonna be like, Miss Santana, I hate you, but you hate me? What?
Oh, get in line. You're not the first one. You won't.
Aw. So have you?
But he's awesome, by the way. He means no harm, though. He's freaking awesome.
He's funny and he's sweet. He doesn't really hate anybody. He'd just be haha joke. So like my funny wrestling reference would be like, you said you like doing tag team. What if they like if you get into your first show and you don't know this, but then Martel? Does Rick Martel have a daughter, Geek?
I have no idea.
Imagine they did that to you. They tossed you in a tag team match with like Rick Martel's daughter, and you don't realize it. It's like that would be hilarious. If I was at that show, I would mark out because Tito Santana's daughter teams up with Martel's daughter, and it's Strike Force 2.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he has a daughter. I'll have to look into that.
Imagine I would mark out. I'd freak out. I'd lose it. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Why am I the only one cheering?
Or I hate to say it, today's day and age, you could do intergender tag teams now.
If it has a son, you could have a son.
Yeah.
You could be the daughter of Team Killer, and then his son be your tag team partner. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
See how that goes.
But have it opposite because you don't know, you don't know, but Martel turned on Tito. Have it opposite. Have you turn heel and go off the rope like, oh, shoulder. Everybody like, oh my God. I'd be like, it's happening. It's happening opposite. Payback. This is for turning on my dad.
There's so many different storylines. Like I am trying to watch, I'm trying to like watch female wrestlers and like how they move and stuff and older matches. And there's just so many different storylines that, over the years have come, like great ones and maybe ones that didn't go over so well, but it's really cool. Like there's so much history because like wrestling, when did it start? Like 70s maybe? Or
late 70s,
60s, 70s, or
60s is when like they started doing the shows like at like being like the gyms and the small arenas that were in there, because New York had a lot of small arenas that my dad used to tell me about, the stories that my dad used to tell me about my grandfather and my cousin that like they would go to in New York, like the Original Garden and like the other places. I can't think of the names of them that were in New York and Long Island, that you can still see that they're old arenas because the way they're shaped and stuff like that. And stuff like that. And
it's so cool. Like my mom went to Madison Square Garden with Andre the Giant a lot, like when he wrestled there. And so it's just cool, like Madison Square Garden, like that's so amazing. And just to think like, people, I mean, they're still holding the biggest events, in the country there. So cool, like to be able to
There's nothing like
an event there or something would be amazing.
My childhood, because Geek's not as old as I am. I'm 38. My childhood was spoiled with Howard Finkel, the ring announcer from WWF, announcing your dad's name, announcing Andre the Giant and Hogan and stuff like that. So I don't think you've heard any of our past episodes, have you? Have you?
No, not yet.
Well, I do a segment on the show that I announce the guest.
You haven't done it in a while.
Oh, because I forget, or my old brain goes into squirrel mode because I'm like, talk to the guests and don't do the Howard Finkel. Do you mind me doing my Howard Finkel voice?
Do it.
This is for you.
Okay.
Coming down the aisle from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jenni Santana.
That's awesome. I think I remember hearing that, like a voice similar to that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Announce your dad's voice for every show.
Was he the main announcer?
Oh, he was
legendary.
That was GOAT.
Like
that
the
man was
of
GOAT. Like my childhood, I still get chills thinking as a kid seeing him come down the aisle with "Welcome to the Jungle" and he shaking people's hands, even though I was halfway up in the bloody nose. He walks in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? I am Howard Finkel, and welcome to Madison Square Garden.
It's like a high voice for an announcer.
He had that high, like it was like a high pitch, but it was kind of my voice goes in weird different ranges. Being in college and high school and doing my announcements and stuff like that. So sometimes
my voice is kind of high. I think someone said I sound like Mickey Mouse. So
gee, I'd be mad. I'd be like, don't say that about Jenni. She's part of the
super
family.
high some days, so I don't know. It's my voice, can't change it. But
your voice was fine in the your video you sent us.
I thought it was awesome. I thought that
sometimes it's high. Like it sounds like a 12-year-old girl. Like at work when people call, they're like, "Can I talk to an adult?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Like, how can I help you?
Yeah, I posted that video a little bit ago, right before the show started on the Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, is this the promo?" And I was like, "Oh, this is a preview." Like, dude, it's funny. I asked people for a promo, and they're like, "I don't get anything to like few days beforehand. I'm like, oh God, busy life. What am I doing? What am I doing in my life? These people are gonna find me and beat me up. And just like,
I think once somebody actually sent us a promo. It's like, let me get it for you. 10 minutes later, they sent us a promo, and I'm like, wow, that was really fast.
We had a girl yesterday that came on our podcast. You can't really find her matches. She's called The Crusher.
Uh-huh.
I thought most of the girls just send us promos of them holding their cell phone like, hi, my name is Becky Jana from da-da-da, and you're watching dudes, their hands shaking and everything. This girl had a full, like,
movie trailer.
Like, movie with the people in the dark. Oh, who is the Crusher? Is she she's an artist? Is she a singer? What is she? I was dying. Me and Geek were like, oh my God.
Raising the bar. Now I can't do that. Like, I can't send you something like this. Hey,
Yeah.
Jenny Santana. Now I gotta find something.
You should like totally do if you when you're at you could even wait and do it when you're at training in the ring and do like a spinning elbow.
Body slam my daughter and be like,
do the spinning elbow.
Someone actually did send us a promo while they were training. I don't know if
you're our guy from California from Money Power Respect.
He had some guy in a headlock and said, "You guys can watch me at dudes at ringside." And I'm like,
okay, I can do that.
He had a guy in a headlock. He's like, "Watch me on dudes at ringside tomorrow night." And then he told the time and everything. And I'm like, "You had the guy in a headlock."
Poor dude. Got deodorant that day.
Kyle let me punch him in the face for it.
Can you do the spinning elbow at the end and say Oriba? No.
I can I'll work on it.
You don't have to send the edited ones because we had one today. Alfie from England, she just sent me one of her just sitting there like, hi, this is Alfie from London, England. You're watching Dudes at Ringside Podcast with the Metal Geek and Joe Panther III. Enjoy.
That's it.
And she did that.
Well, whatever I send you, know that I will try. So if it's just me sitting there, be like, I tried and failed miserably at doing an action one. So
I have a script that I send people that just says hi blank period. It's like reading a script. It just says your name. Hi, my name is period. I am from country or state period. And you're what? It's just
sometimes we got two dudes ringside podcasts. And I'm like,
oh. My dad
get it right.
My dad the next day is like, Brandy, you know they messed up, right? And I'm like, Dad, I'm not asking these people to come. They will find me, somehow track and hack my cell phone and get my address.
You need to redo this for me and get it right so that I can post it.
I get scared. I'm not an MMA trained fighter. I'm a swimmer / bowler from Special Olympics in Pennsylvania.
We're nervous we're gonna lose the guests too. They're gonna be like,
I used to bowl when I was younger.
What was your handicap in bowling?
I don't know. Like I used to bowl in a little league when I was a kid because like we came from a family of bowlers. So like my grandfather had 300 games a few times.
Ooh.
He's got like he had a few 300 rings and my uncle, like we were all bowlers, but I did not get the bowling gene by any stretch of the imagination. So
I warm up with 100, and then my last game today, I think it was at wasn't my best the last round, but I did get I hear the collar. Was that you, Geek, making me think there's a dog?
After like this 10 second in the round where they're like, means we got to finish up.
Geek, you trying to end the show? What are you doing?
No, I'm good, dude. I'm good. I was good.
Are you okay, Jenny? Do you have to go?
Oh, no, I'm okay for a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You want to do one more question, Joe? One more question each. Right?
So where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years. Okay, so I see myself hopefully in jiu-jitsu, having a black belt by then, hopefully. So that's check. And win like some tournaments as a black belt. That's my goal in jiu-jitsu. I would love to have some matches under my belt and like do some pro wrestling. Like it would be amazing. Like this is I started training. So like, what's your end goal? Like maybe as a hobby, but I'd love to try it out where, you could be successful. Like I would love to be successful doing something that I love. Like I have a day job and it pays the bills. It's great. But like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's my passion. Like some people are, teachers, and that's what they were born for. And I don't know if that's me, but like, I'm going to do my job. I do a good job, but I love being in the gym. So like if I could make a living off of being in the gym or like performing or something like that would be ideal. So I don't know, like we'll see. Like, yeah, you can reach for the stars, but you also have to be realistic. So I don't know. We'll see how training goes. And when I get my first match, we shall see how that goes. And if it goes successful, like I would love to keep doing it and see where it could take me,
We hope you get far, and we hope to someday see you in Ring of Honor, or like even come east and in a indie promotion. Me and Geek will definitely come cheer you on. We'll make signs. Well, here, look, we're here. We'll take a selfie together. Hey, if we ever come to Vegas, we'll let you know, and we'll come hang out, have some pizza, we'll have a nice cup of coffee. Or you guys have bagels over by you? We'll eat some bagels with you.
There's like an Einstein bagels. I guess that's bagels, but I'll take you guys out to the pizza that I think is closest to the East Coast, and we'll
There you go, Geek.
There you go.
We'll try those out, and you can be like, "This is not anything."
We'll have a vlog.
Yeah.
The dudes come to Vegas.
I mean, it's Vegas. Like, there's amazing restaurants. It's crazy. Like, there's you can go like. I mean, yeah, they have like McDonald's and fast food stuff, but also like super like Gordon Ramsay steakhouse and stuff like that. There's so many options here. Like it's so different than it was in Pennsylvania, where you'd have to like drive for a good meal. Like the Strip is 10, 15 minutes away, and you can get like quality gourmet meals, or you can, go get pizza. So
yeah.
One more question. I think we answered it, but international travel. Where would you like to see yourself going?
Internationally?
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even know. There's so many places. Like, I would love to wrestle or to vacation.
Oh, vacation or
wrestling mostly.
Ibiza, like,
yeah.
Like Greece is so beautiful. I've heard like there's so many awesome places. I know. My father, who raised me, is from England, so like would eventually love to go see England. I just love to I would love to travel Europe. It would be great. I just need to get out more. Like I was very sheltered as a kid, and so I need to start like getting out and traveling more. I've only been out of the country one time when I was, I don't know, maybe like right after high school. I went to Cancun. And does that even count? I mean, it does count, but like, it's not like, it's such a touristy spot, Everyone's a tourist there. So that was the only place that I've gone out of the country. But I'd love to get out more. Like my grandmother went to Ireland, and it was so beautiful. And she's been to like Portugal and stuff. So there's so many places. Like I'd love to do all of them, but I don't know. If work, like ideally, like I would travel for like work, then I'd have to go to those places. So that would be awesome.
So we're actually having an all-female wrestling promotion, the owner, coming on our podcast. Like next month, Geek, or is that like in the future calendar?
Calendar. The future.
In future episodes, would you mind if we name dropped you to him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
What's the worst that can happen? I'm like, I don't know that girl.
Yeah, Liberty, but it's Liberty Pro Wrestling. They're from Alabama, and it's all women. All women's promotion. Yeah. I was just like, I think he found us. I was just like, my dad's like, if you don't take this opportunity, you may lose it, dude. You may lose your chance with any other companies. And I was like, my friends are at work. They're like, females, Joe, you're gonna? I'm like, dude, what? You know that I like we get like getting the female guests, and he's like, I don't know, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this opportunity. I told this to Geek. He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, that's an owner of an all-female promotion. I find it as an honor. You know what I mean? I don't care what guests we get, men or women, but I feel that the female guests, I know they go through a lot because they're DMs and a lot of men get stupid. But I feel that the women wrestlers get back to you faster than the men because the men have really big egos.
Yeah. It's funny you said that about like what the women encounter. I don't know. I'm sure guys get like strange DMs too, but recently like I've had numerous ones that were really questionable, you know, like like stuff they've asked for. I don't like I don't even think I could say it on here, but I will like
you're allowed to curse on here. You're allowed to curse.
Oh no, it wasn't cursing. They like the most recent one I got, like I've been screenshotting, like sending them to Kyle, like as a joke, like look at what's happening, you know, and like I think it was today or yesterday. They're like, oh, I want to. What would you charge for a picture of your pubic hair or something? And they're like, it doesn't have to be naked. And I'm like, who in their right mind like writes this and thinks it's a good idea to hit send to someone? Like I don't understand.
Do that to someone. That's horrible.
And I'm not easily like I don't get bothered, like so it doesn't like bother me. Like I just laugh at stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like whew. Yeah, no, just, but pretty good laughs sometimes. Like someone asked me if they could lick my armpit or something, and I'm like, like. Some people have the fetishes out there, which is, you know, great for you guys. Rock on. But yeah, I'm not my armpit really doesn't need to be licked. So.
All right. If you want to plug anything you're doing or any like your web social medias, we already have them on the screen. But if you want to plug them yourself, the stage is yours.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. Like, I'm trying to grow the Instagram channel like everyone else. It's jhaas1228. I usually, like, I try to do stories every day. Sometimes I don't, but I try to. And then Twitter, it's like a thorn in my side right now because I'm trying to do Twitter and I just am not that good at it. And I haven't done my first tweet, but it's so awesome that like people have, like I have followers on Twitter and I haven't tweeted yet. So I'm working on this, but my Twitter is jenni_santana_. So I need to get more comfortable with that platform. I was like on Facebook for a long time before I like started Instagram a few years ago, and then it took me a little bit to like learn how to do stuff. And so now it's like that with Twitter. So I will get there and I will start tweeting and liking and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you could follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to, that would be great.
Geek is so bad at social media, just so you know.
No, I'm not the best either. Oh, and I started a YouTube channel that also has no content, but I'm working on that. Like I'm going to get videos, like the interviews I've did, I'm going to put on there, and some of my jiu-jitsu matches are on YouTube. I'm going to download those on there. And then when people write comments, like Hannibal's really good at editing my blog for me, so it's pretty cool, and a lot of people comment on that, and some of them have questions, so I'm gonna do like video answers to the questions. So I don't know what the YouTube channel is called. I think it's just Jenni Santana.
You could always if you want this interview, Geek can email it to you and you could post it on your
that'd be awesome.
And you can break it down and make like you could just like snips of it if you want to do like snips of the interview and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Thing.
And answer any other questions, like
that's all the questions I have. I'm good.
I'm good.
Jenni, from the bottom of my third generation heart, I say thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
My team, my little young Joe is jumping up and down. Yay! Like, we're so happy. Like, what's the name for Street Fighter? Yay! Like that. Even that's horrible. 9-year-old me is going woohoo. As I said, I got a chance to see your dad's face when I was a little kid, and then I seen him when I went to WrestleMania 20, coming out of the it was so funny because the elevator doors open, everybody's walking, and they're just like, and I'm just like,
oh wait, I do have this. Hold on, let me show you. I can put this other picture. So, I have two. Oh, so remember my mom's like, she used to be really like best friends with Andre. Oh, you can't see it now.
is that Andre?
Yeah, but this is me, like, so this is like my baby picture. Like, we look like, oh, you can't see it either.
I can see half of it.
Yeah, it's just me as a baby. Who doesn't want
The Spotify users really can't see it.
Oh.
Spotify's like, they're all doing this. What?
What's you doing, right?
They're probably on my Instagram. So if you want to see more of me, I love, like, during quarantine, I totally got, I don't want to say addicted, but like I took a lot of selfies, and so I have a lot of selfies on my I had a lot of selfies on my Instagram. I've gotten better about posting other stuff, but I went through a selfie phase. Now I think I'm over it.
We all do it. I like taking selfies and sending it to the girl I like. I'm like, I sent a picture of myself today, and I had a mask on because I do the bowling with the Special Olympics, so I had my mask on and had the mask on, and the kid behind me starts doing this. Picture, and I went,
get out of my photo.
I was like, Vinny, really? That's for my girl, man. What are you doing? That's for my baby.
So sweet.
That was for my crush. You're just trying to get a picture. It was fine. At the end of the picture, in the iPhone picture, when you do it live, he was still like this. It was blurry. So I was like, he didn't get a chance to get the pose. I'm like, that's when you go live.
I would be super nervous to send, like, if I had a crush, to send my picture to them, like their response.
My picture was cute. My picture was cute of me posing with the two guns up, throwing the peace signs. I had this one before, kind of me. And then there's
I probably get the response back like, I didn't ask for this. Why are you sending me random pictures of yourself?
Because I'm a sweetheart.
Stop taking pictures of yourself.
Got me with my stage glasses on.
Oh.
The stash.
80s.
And then with my mask on today.
There's the guy. That's
Vinny. That's my buddy Vinny.
Oh.
Mr. Vin.
Not Vinny from the chat, right, Joe?
Not Vinny from there's a random person in our chat that just says Vinny all the whole
show.
So
the irony of that is so much more than you know. Yeah, so cool. It's just randomly chanting Vinny, like than everybody.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on, Jenny. If you want to come, actually, aren't you on the schedule again later in the months? Aren't you?
We had planned October, and I think we changed it. But I mean, if you want me to meet back in October, you can see how far I've come since then. Hopefully, we can schedule it again, and let me know what that guy says. It's a guy who does the girls promotion, or it's a girl?
Oh, it's a man. It's a guy that owns it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we definitely want you to come back.
Oh yeah, definitely. We want you to come back. Yeah. We had fun. We had so much fun with you. And I'm serious. If Geek and I just ever decide when we could travel, we go to Vegas. I'm messaging you like, Jenny, we're coming to Vegas.
And nothing else, like, I'll take you guys to a jiu-jitsu class and wrap you up in triangles and choke you out.
Oh, no.
Keep doing jiu-jitsu. I think my back is broken.
That's for messaging me so much on Instagram, guys. It was Joe. He did it.
It was Joe was the one doing the messaging. I was the one saying, I don't think it's a good idea.
It's jujitsu.
It's fun. It's fun. You'll love it. I love. Oh gosh, I love when new people come to jiu-jitsu because like it literally becomes a lifestyle for them. It's just so it's good for you. It's fun. Who doesn't want to beat people up like in a controlled environment?
Little skinny geek in the gi. Little skinny geek. I'd be like showing the guns in the game. Like, I got this.
Like right after you're done, like rip the gi off so everyone can see like the muscles and abs and walk
Like,
around with just the pants on.
Yeah, that's me. That would be me. I'd be like, yeah, Joe, put the gi back on. No. Jenny said I could take off my gi. I'm like the little kid that they said when I get home, he takes off the pants to just walk around in the diaper. Yeah, that's me walking around without the shirt on. Yep.
Oh
yep.
gosh.
I'm good. A little Stewie. That's me. All right.
Yeah, so I will see you guys if you come to Vegas or next time I'm on the show.
All right, later. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
What a great interview,
so
Joe.
Much fun.
So much fun. So.
Oh my gosh.
So, Joe, you want to wrap this up, or?
Yes, I'll wrap this up. Thank you again to Jenny Santana, Jenny Haas, for coming on the podcast. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh, she was so awesome. She had so many stories about her and her training and her karate stuff. Don't forget to check out the VPW show and the NYW show tomorrow. I hope the We Are Wrestling show went well. We have not heard anything about Becky and
Billy Starks.
Billy Stark match. We don't know who won. Hopefully Becky's still champion. But due to ringside champion. Wait, no, I said that wasn't for the belt because it was in a number one contenders match.
So
for our title. I'm getting a cold sweat. I hope we don't have to make a title. How much money was that geek? 140.
I think it was like $179.
That's why I got
to make a belt. All right.
Mom's gonna kill me.
But anyway, I got a couple announcements I gotta make. Unless you're still going.
Pregnant and it's not my child.
No.
Oh.
No. The announcement is we have reached 500 followers on Facebook. Thank you all so very much, everybody.
Wow.
Thank you so much. So,
but yet they're not watching us. They just follow us.
They just follow us, but it's okay. We still have followers. So, and remember, you could always donate to us at http://streamlabs.com/dudes@ringside. http://streamlabs.com/dudes@ringside. Joe?
Thank you, Jenny Haas. As I said before, go buy your tickets for all the wrestling shows that are happening tomorrow on Long Island. And if there's happening ones in New Jersey, go buy their tickets. Indie wrestling is out and about now. Or buy a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees tonight or whenever, all the guests we've had on our podcast. We will see you Monday for the Candy Girl. Good night, everybody.